So we're here on Westover Road this morning. It's about 6:25 in the morning. Waiting for this bus pulling up just now as we jet off on the 737 this morning, and later on we go on the 33 to Christchurch. Here's our bus now. We've got a lovely Trident, and Blakey's driving. We're on 1941 today as we go on the more buses. Cue the music. So due to the nature of today's bus route, well the first one in the episode, we start off straight on the time lapse as we come through Northbourne and cross the boundary into the Zone AB section. Again, ticket information will be at the end of this segment when we chat about the route or when we're sat at Castle Point. So we travel down here towards West Parley, we turn right at the traffic lights just coming up now as we head down towards the Aviation Business Park. We do a loop around there, then we go round into Bournemouth Airport itself, but unfortunately on the day of recording the gates weren't actually working properly, so we had to do a U-turn in the car park. But all in all it's a lovely route. It runs twice a day, as I will mention later on. 2 out in the morning towards the Aviation Business Park for people getting to work, and 3 in the evening for people getting home. But you cannot get a bus there, bus back on a return journey because of the gap in the timetable. Not really sure why this is, but it just is what it is. But it is a lovely little route out here, but there is a way you'll be able to do a return journey on this in the near future in September when the U5 is released, as there will be a service from Bournemouth University to Chapel Gate. But as you can see here, we're around the back of the Aviation Business Park now as we head back towards the airport. You do get a lovely view of the airport itself from the top deck of the bus we're on today. We were lucky enough to get the PDL out for the high capacity of this route. The first bus of the day is usually a single decker, but we were lucky enough to get on the second bus of the day. So as you can see here, those lights usually flash if there's a heavy aircraft taking off going that way on the runway, as there is a risk of high-sided vehicles getting struck or knocked over by the jet, well, from the crosswinds. And as you see here, we're coming into Bournemouth Airport now, and this is where the route will turn around and start heading back. So we're here on 1941, we're actually at Castle Point now, but I just thought I'd give a little bit of a chit chat about the route we've just done. So the route we've just done was the airport run. 737 runs twice a day from Bournemouth in the morning, then twice a day in the evening from the airport back to Bournemouth. For that journey you will need a Zone NB ticket, the information will be listed just here. But yeah, it was a nice run, and now we're going back to the 22, and I'll see you a little bit 33 later at Boston bus station. Hello again, Blakey. The 33 route is one of those interesting little bus services that is what we like to call the council bus, because it's one of the routes that Bournemouth Pool and Christchurch Council have asked for to be run. It runs from Bournemouth via the East Cliff, Boscombe bus station, then it turns left onto Ashley Road, going down through past Avonbourne School, Tregonwell, what used to be Tregonwell. Then it comes down into Bournemouth Hospital, as you see here. Then it goes up back through Folkestone, Southbourne, near Hainsbury Head, and it drops back down towards Christchurch. Then it does a weird little loop bit, which you'll see later on, and then finally into Christchurch. But it crosses over with quite a few bus routes. As you can see here, we're going into Bournemouth Hospital. It crosses over with all the main buses through Boscombe, buses through Bournemouth, buses through Christchurch. But there is one little thing I will recommend when catching this bus. If you're going to Bournemouth from the Castle Lane Tesco stop, I recommend you don't get on this side of the road. This is because when you pull out into traffic for the bus driver, you're going across 3 lanes or 2, and if the traffic lights are red like they are there and you've got a long skew of traffic, it can be hard for the driver to pull out and across. What I instead recommend doing is crossing over and going from this stop here towards Bournemouth. This is a little bit easier to get across in the traffic, and there's usually less queues here, and the driver has a more likely chance of seeing you. Other crossover on this bus is where you're about to see just up here. And it's about here the 33 crosses over with the 80, and as you're about to see, we're about to cross over with 1813 with Butler driving, and I've got Blakey here on 2703. This is actually a rare allocation for a 33 to cross over with an 80, as we don't usually run at this point.
I'm definitely not 9 minutes late.
We're on the final stretch towards Christchurch now. As you can see in the bottom right of the screen, we have a bit of footage I filmed the next day on 1813, which surprisingly enough we're following 2703 again. This is just to prove that we do overlap with the 80, if you didn't already see from when we were running late on the other one. As we approach Tuckton Bridge now, a little fun fact about this bridge is buses can't actually pass each other on here. This is because it is a weak bridge, and that's why if you're heading towards Christchurch, there is a timing point for most routes just before you enter the bridge. As we now go around on the little loop section I mentioned earlier, it's quite tight through here for buses, but back in the days of yellow buses, they did used to send double-deckers and Optare tempos around there. How they managed to do that, I will never know, because it was tight doing this on an E200 Classic, and these aren't the longest of buses. But now we head back down towards Tuckton Bridge, but we don't go back over it. We instead we turn off left towards Christchurch. And as you see here, we're turning off now as we go around past Twynham Academy, and then if you look straight ahead, that's the diversion route for a Monday. And coming up on the right is Christchurch Quay, where there was a fun fair going on today. But yep, we're finally arriving into Christchurch. So we're finally here in Christchurch. You can see the 33 behind me. The 100 just passing there with the E200 MMC, and you have a PDL like we were on this morning that will be going out in just a second. So this is the end of the line for the 33. Right. Up here you can go and look around the Priory, around the gardens, around there, down to Christchurch Quay. There's currently a fun fair on if you're down here in the next 2 weeks. There's a market here every Monday, so this part of the road is closed. So all the buses will stop on the stop just out there by the Waitrose, or if you're getting the 33 into town, it's down just there by the recreational ground. Now to get here, unlike earlier, you'll just need a Zone A ticket, as listed with the prices just here beside me. But yeah, Christchurch is a lovely quiet little town just outside of Bournemouth. Feel free to come down and take a look. But I think that's where we'll wrap up today's episode. Naren is Jack, we've had CJ as Blakey, and we saw Russ as Stan. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode of On the Moor Buses. See you in the next one.